This is Pet Life Radio. Let's talk pets.
I'm Smiley the dog. I am a mutt. I'm Smiley the dog. I'm super smiley. I have a cat, 2 sweets, the travel kitty. I have a big girlfriend, Angel's really pretty. I have a pony and we share a big horse. We have a big yard. Yeah, we have to, of course. I have a pool. In the summer I stay cool. To a fountain, live in the mountains, live high on the hog. Need to be a spokes dog. I'm Smiley the dog. I am a mutt. I'm Smiley the dog. I'm super smiley.
Wolf and Super Smiles. Welcome to a Super Smiley adventure on Pet Life Radio, the largest pet radio network in the world. I'm Megan Blake, the pet lifestyle coach, here with my handsome co-host, 2-time shelter dog, Super Smiley, who's the ambassador of kindness for the Animal Film Festival. Go, Super Smiley! His latest film short documentary was filmed at the University of Georgia with the Georgia Bulldogs. It's called A PSA for Kindness. Go Dogs! And it's only 2 minutes long. We would love it if everybody would help us share kindness around the world by watching it at kindnessfilms.com. And if it makes you smile, you gotta share it. And here on a Super Smiley Adventure radio show, we explore adventures where animals lead. These can be adventures for fun or missions of animal advocacy or inner journeys of self-discovery where our pets become our healers and our teachers. As for me, I'm the pet lifestyle coach. I travel the country with Smiley, helping people adopt the right pet for their lifestyle, and then I help train them so they keep that pet forever. And we are so excited to welcome our amazing guest. She's a longtime NBC correspondent, and I'm sure you've seen her on the Today Show. She's an award-winning animal advocate, best-selling author, and Smiley's and my dear friend, Jill Rappaport. Hey, Jill, welcome to a Super Smiley adventure.
Hey, Megan, so great to be here. Well, you're going on and on about me, which let me tell your listeners, I am a huge fan of yours and Super Smiley. You guys are just amazing. And Megan, what you've done to spread the word for animal advocacy is truly incredible. And your dog is, the ambassador dog of just amazing messages. So, again, it's everybody getting together, power in numbers, right, girlfriend?
Absolutely right. Absolutely. We were just talking about everybody doing their part, whatever it is, whether they foster, rescue, share the messaging, whatever it is, or just adopt the dog and love your doggy and serve as an example when you're walking them around the block. Say, I got my dog from the shelter, right? Whatever you can do, right, Jill?
Oh, my God. I mean, and again, I tell people all the time, if you're not in a position to adopt, you can foster, you can volunteer, you can donate time, money, whatever it is. In addition, if you can, which is the most important thing, giving a fur angel a forever home. So there are so many rules and roles and things that you can abide by and also jobs you can have and do to really make a difference for our fur angels in need, right?
Absolutely. And Jill, every single time I run into you, you're doing such creative and wonderful things to promote pet adoption. Do you remember one of the projects you were doing that you created was, I think I'm saying this right, is Pie for Pups. Remember, you put a pie on my face for the pups.
I know! Well, you know what? I came up with this crazy idea. Do you remember the Ice Bucket Challenge? And I thought, okay, they raised so much money for ALS. It was so incredible. And I thought, what can we do for our little pooches? And I thought, okay, pies for paws. The worst thing, it gets in your eyes, but it's delicious. And you know what? It really did. A lot of people did it. Meredith Vieira, people were really taking pies in the face. So you were such a great sport.
Oh, my gosh. It was my honor, my pleasure, my honor. And let's see what else. You do so many things. You just put your whole life out there, Jill, for animals, all of your talents and your skills. And I think last time we actually spoke, you were traveling the country delivering toys to shelters. Tell us about that project you did.
Right. Yeah, well, it's always, you have to constantly keep reinventing yourself to promote the message because whenever, you don't have the same traction or people aren't picking it up as much as you want, then you got to come up with a new, better, and more creative idea that people will embrace so that we can save lives. So, I did Best in Shelter where I went around the country, my show that literally went on the road and saved. I'm all about the underdogs of the shelter world. I've always been.
Me too.
It's tough enough to get into the shelters, and hey, if we can get you in, opt to adopt, that's a beautiful thing. But as well as anybody, Megan, when people go in, they tend to go for the cute, adorable, perfect puppy instead of the super senior, the pit bull, special needs, and so those are the animals, those are the areas I focus on. And I came up with this toy called called Shelter Shake. It's actually sold exclusively on QVC because of my dog Ruby in mind. So many of these older dogs are, have been dumped or discarded, and in the shelters they're terrified. And this dog was created literally so that people feel, the animals can feel like they're one step closer to a loving home, and that they can be more engaged. You know what I'm saying? They can wag the tail and really show the personality with this toy, because as you know, when they're in the cage, they're hiding in the back and they're scared, and it's terrifying. So I feel like, that this toy has been unbelievable. I'm also the spokesperson for a wonderful product. I actually spoke about it, Pet Life Radio. I'm going to be having a line of dog treats for good reasons. And it's the most incredible company. They make it their mission to help employ people with special needs. It's the most all-natural and delicious, because I've eaten them myself, dog treats. And I'll have Rappaport's Rescue Recipe and Rappaport's Adoption Concoction, hopefully sold exclusively on QVC. And, I love working with these people because their heart is just as big as the world. And, I've been doing that. And my leash and collar line, all part of the Jill Rappaport's Rescued Me collection, which sports, I love my sayings, opt to adopt, I'm a heart melter from a shelter, bless you for my rescue, I'm smitten with my rescue kitten. I come up with all these things so that people can be proud to sport their leashes and collars promoting rescue. And, again, it's always coming up with ways to get that message out in neon lights, literally, to flash it loud and bright. And what I'm working on right now, I think, is probably, for me, really the greatest thing of all in terms of like having a dream come true, and that's Dog Bowl. So I just can't believe it's here. I can't believe after everything I've been through and worked on, it's finally coming to fruition in 2 days. And I just can't believe it. Yeah.
Wow, Jill. Yeah, I want to hear all about the Dog Bowl, but I want everybody to know one more thing about you, because you've just done so. First of all, thank you for telling us about your leashes line and your treats line, and congratulations on all that success in not only the success of the lines, but also in getting that messaging out. You have a heart that's as big as the world. I love that, Jill. We're so happy to call you our friend.
When you go into these shelters, I just rescued a dog last summer and saved him. He's 8 years old, my dachshund. And, you understand these older animals, when they've been dumped and discarded in the twilight of their lives through no fault of their own. And poor little Oscar, it took me 6.5 hours. I was outside with him just to get him to stand next to me, and another 2 hours for me to be able to get him where he was actually jumping in the car. And now I cannot get him back into the car because he is so paranoid and afraid that I'm giving him away. It just goes to show you, he was 8 years old. He's got his little ears look like potato chips because they've been eaten away from heat when he was left outside as a young dog. And he's the sweetest thing, but very fearful, very untrusting. He lives for me, loves me, and it's taken him about a year to come around. And some dogs, as I tell people all the time, you have to look past what you're seeing in the cage, because you know better than anyone, when you walk into these shelters and you see these animals, that's not the personality you're going to end up with. They're there and they've been dumped, and they can smell often euthanasia. They're terrified. Absolutely. They don't know what happened to their family, their warm bed, their lovely home. And can you imagine if that happened to us? If your house was taken away?
I cannot imagine. No, right.
Right. So I always tell people, don't walk just because if the number is a little higher than you want or the animal's hiding in the back of the cage. Please take time to bond and try to get to know that animal, because I have to tell you, that's not the same animal you're going to end up with, and that could end up being your soulmate for life if you would just give them a chance.
I love the way you said it could be your soulmate for life, because I was thinking if they do that, they will be rewarded over and over and over and over, just from the love and the laughter and the joy and all the lessons that little doggy or kitty cat will give them. And Jill, we were talking about all the fun things you do, like the pie and the traveling the country, but also you are a journalist. And the first time we met, it was at the Genesis Awards presented by the Humane Society of the United States. And that's a huge, huge deal. The winners include Ellen, Paul McCartney, 2020 Oprah. I mean, so big. And you are a Genesis Awards winner, right, Jill? You've won several, haven't you?
Yeah, believe it or not, 7, which is pretty amazing.
7! I know. Wow.
I couldn't believe it either. And we just submitted for this year, when I did the Harry Connick Jr. show last spring, we did an incredible, it was so I guess the best word I could say, it was so draining because we not only brought on, I think it was 20 dogs. We were responsible in the same show. We got every single one a home that day. So
congratulations.
Setting it up, we had to find the dogs, and we also had to screen the families and make the perfect matches and present them all live on TV. And every single dog, it's been almost a year, they're all still in the homes. They are so happy and thriving. And that was really, I've done a lot of rescue segments, but usually you have a little bit of time, you're on live, you have a little time after, and then you bring out, the next batch, and you can say, oh my goodness, I have a 100% adoption record. This was like right then and there. It was immediate gratification, immediate payoff. So we just submitted that show for a Genesis, and I'm hoping this year I'm going to submit Dog Bowl because it's the greatest, in my opinion, 60 minutes you'll ever watch of heart, soul, and you're going to cry beautiful tears, happy tears.
Perfect, Jill. And let's hear all about Dog Bowl right after this break, because that's what we're talking about on this show. The Dog Bowl. Smiley, can you wait?
Yay!
Sit, stay. We'll be right back after a short pause. Well, 4 to be exact.
Tired of wasting money on giant bags, boxes, and jugs of litter that don't last? Switch to World's Best Cat Litter, the only litter that lets you use less and get more. World's Best Cat Litter uses the concentrated power of corn to deliver outstanding odor control and easy cleanup. It's lightweight, 99% dust-free, and pet, people, and planet-friendly. It's even flushable. Make the switch to World's Best Cat Litter and save $2. Visit www.saveonworldsbest.com.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
And we're back on a super smiley adventure with award-winning journalist and acclaimed animal advocate Jill Rappaport. Welcome back, Jill.
Oh, thank you so much. I love your energy and I love your intros. I think my mother might have put a call into you, huh, Megan? Like, say this about my daughter, say that about my daughter. The check is in the mail. You're so great. You've been such a huge supporter. And I feel the same way about you. I always say that people like us, we bond together and we naturally gravitate towards one another because our hearts are in the same place. And I think you agree with me, that, it's hard to become close to people in situations if people really don't feel the same way we do, because this is our oxygen, right?
Absolutely. It is what I call the core values. These will never be shaken from us. They're not even choices that we have made. They are in who we are, our DNA. Yep. And I think that's exactly what you're saying. Absolutely. And we're right back at you, Jill. We're major Jill Rappaport fans. And so, Jill, this is Super Bowl weekend. And Animal Planet has a tradition. So first talk about the Puppy Bowl, just to catch everybody up on what's been going on with Animal Planet. Tell us about Puppy Bowl.
Well, everyone, who doesn't love Puppy Bowl? I call it a I call it a mental massage. It is just, you get lost in those visuals of those little tiny fur, like you just can smell the little puppy breath. You just love them so much. They're so adorable. And, this is year 14, which is incredible. Everybody knows Puppy Bowl. Everybody loves Puppy Bowl. And I've been so fortunate to be part of it. I think I have the best job in Puppy Bowl, the best role, because I host the Pup Close and Personal segments sponsored by Subaru every year. And my role is to tell the backstories, how these adorable, perfect little pooches really went through hell to get to the gridiron. Everybody looks at them and they think, oh, how adorable, how precious. Little do they know that often they're dumped alongside the road. They're found in boxes. They were literally going to be, put to sleep because nobody wanted them. And here they are. They make it all the way to the gridiron, and people are literally fighting for them. They want them so badly. So they all end up in a wonderful forever home. And I've always felt, wow, with the success of this show, with all the millions of eyeballs, with all the promotion, all the positive energy and press, wouldn't it be great if we could do the same thing, shine the same incredible light on older pets in need? And I came up with this idea, brought it to Animal Planet. I originally was calling it Senior Bowl. They decided I'm Dog Bowl.
Dog Bowl.
Which is really cute,
It's very
cute. It's really cute, too. So, listen, the fact that they're doing it, the fact that I finally can see my dream and these shelters where these dogs, we have 50 dogs from all over the country up to 16 years old. Every single one of them got along. You know, you see the puppies romping and playing and their little puppy growl, and you think, wow, we're going to bring in 50 dogs, some very big, down to smaller ones.
Dogs.
Right, and from shelters all over the country. And, you know, you have to be concerned if everyone will get along. We didn't have one incident, not one incident. It was as if these dogs knew it was their time to shine, and they were on perfect behavior to show the world how wonderful older shelter pets are.
I believe that they do know. I believe these animals are so intuitive and so connected with the people around them that they knew that you all were doing something to showcase them as these special ambassadors. They're ambassadors that they are, right?
Oh, and they're so incredible. And like I said, you know, we talked about this a little earlier. You know, these older animals, first of all, let's talk about the pros. They've been there, done that. They're often housebroken, which is, you know, a great thing. I always like to say they'd rather sleep on the couch than eat the couch. They're the ultimate mellow best friends that can cuddle up next to you forever. There are so many pluses, so many bonuses to having an older pet in your life. And when I say older, I'm talking 4 years and up. When you go into shelters, you know, even at 4 years old, they're challenged. And for a big dog, it's very difficult to get people to open up their hearts and homes if there's, you know, a huge German Shepherd or Siberian Husky and they're 4 or 5 years old, because people think, oh no, it's a heartbreak waiting to happen earlier. And you know what? I have a friend that only takes in super seniors that are terminally ill, so that their last few weeks, she's truly from heaven above, so that their last few weeks are incredible and filled with love. And she will call me all the time and say, you know what? They told me this dog had maybe 2 weeks to live. We're going on 8 months. And the point here is that when you take one of these older animals that's known a home and known some love and warmth, and all of a sudden they're completely dumped, and then you bring them back into a loving situation and they finally can feel safe again for real, they thrive, and they exceed the years you ever thought you'd have with them. So I tell people all the time, please, just like our society, where older people often get overlooked and people don't consider how much more life and talent and abilities older people have to offer, same thing with the older pet. And we need to, stop the discrimination, stop overlooking them, and open up our hearts and homes to them. It's ridiculous. They're incredible.
Absolutely. And I've heard of some families that don't know a lot about dog behavior. They'll have kids and they'll say, oh, I want to get a puppy so my children can watch it grow up. And I'm like, no, don't get a puppy. Puppies are so much work. They require,
you know what?
24/7 maintenance and training. Yes. Tell me.
And you know what, though? In defense, if you have your heart set on a puppy and you're equipped and you have a good support system, meaning the right setup for them, and I tell mothers with newborns, do you really want a puppy? You're going to have 2 babies at home, And as you know, dogs are children that really, they never grow up. I mean, you're responsible for their well-being forever, which to me is a blessing. But with a puppy, the first 2 years are quite interesting. And if you have a newborn at home, that's a lot to handle. I also tell people who are older, senior people. I've seen someone, when I was at the shelter, this woman had to be, I'm guessing, early 80s, and she was looking for a puppy. Now, I couldn't say anything, but I was thinking to myself, listen, hopefully you'll have another 20 years and you'll be on Willard Scott's birthday list and be 100 years old, But if you don't, do you know that you have a provision for that puppy and that you can make sure that that young dog will have a home if something happens to you? People have to consider, just like with children, you have to make sure there's a will and there's a plan for these animals so they don't end up back in the shelter system.
Right. That is a very, very good point, Jill. And also, like you said, puppies are wonderful if you know what you're getting into. But with little children, puppies have what I call razor teeth, and they chew on everything, including people's hands and children's legs. And I'm a dog trainer as well, and people will call me and say, my puppy, there's something wrong with it. He's chewing everything. And I tell them, no, that's perfectly normal. Puppies are teething. They are like little babies, and they're not housebroken because they're little babies. How can they know? And they will eat the sofa because they don't know the difference between a sofa or their toy that you bought for them. So it is so much better unless you're set up and prepared to do lots of training and lots of time management on the puppy. It's so much better to get an older doggy, a senior. Yes.
Yes, and also if you have a young dog or a puppy and that's the only animal in the house, well, I'm always about having minimum 2 dogs, but,
Me too.
they
Me
get,
too.
what about separation anxiety? Oh, my goodness. I mean,
right.
I think
Right.
especially if somebody's adopted a puppy, they should consider an older dog because it's a great companion animal. An older dog will teach the young one a lot, and they'll follow the older one. So it's just
definitely.
another great reason. If you do
Right.
have a puppy now or a young dog, get an older dog. That's great
right.
as a companion.
Right. And Jill, in the dog bowl, back to the actual program, will the dogs be available for adoption, or are they just showcasing the ambassadors for adoption? Who will be the stars of the show?
Oh, well, there's, first of all, 50, and they're all available for adoption. Fortunately,
good.
a lot of them have already been spoken for, which is just music to our ears. But,
Absolutely.
yeah, and you know what's so great, and I tell people every time I do a rescue segment, if you see one and you have your heart on that dog, and you can reach out to the shelter because all that information will be online and throughout the show. And let's say somebody's already opened up their hearts and homes and taken it home, and it's great. Then guess what? Go to your local shelter. Now that you're at least open to taking an older animal,
Yes.
I guarantee you there are cages and cages of amazing, incredible older animals that I'm sure will speak to your heart. So what I'm hoping with this show, not only that it becomes another Puppy Bowl and lives on forever, the way Puppy Bowl seems to be doing, but my goal is not what happens leading up to the show, but what happens after the show airs, the messaging, where people realize, wow, they are really great. I never thought about this before, but I think I might adopt a little older. That's what my goal is with this show.
I love that, Jill. And you've mentioned the success of the Puppy Bowl. I read that last year it drew 2.5 million viewers and that it's Animal Planet's biggest hit, which is amazing. And I also love that adoption is truly becoming the first choice for many people now. So let's talk about that more and the crazy games that you're going to be hosting after the break. Smiley, can you wait? Good boy.
Sit, stay. We'll be right back after a short pause. Well, 4 to be exact.
If you've ever shared your home and heart with a charmingly naughty animal who's always up to mischief, you'll fall in love with the Klepto Kitty who stars in Talk to the Paw by Melinda Metz. Talk to the Paw is a funny, heartwarming novel about a single girl, a single guy, and MacGyver, an adorable tabby cat with a not-so-adorable habit of stealing from the neighbors. Talk to the Paw is on sale now everywhere books are sold. Visit kensingtonbooks.com for more info.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite.
Dynavite is nutrition.
Pick up 2 bottles of Lico Chops, get the 3rd bottle free.
New improved Lico Chops with omega-3, omega-6, vitamin E.
And now, 6 extra direct-fed microbials.
Even better for the digestive tract and immune system.
Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynavite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Let's talk pets.
Let's talk pets
On Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Hi, I'm Jerry Ryan, and I'm on a super smiley adventure.
And we're back on a super smiley adventure with our dear friend, Jill Rappaport. Welcome back, Jill.
Oh, thank you so much, Megan. No, you made a really good point about, first of all, the viewership. It's 2.5 million just for, the initial airing, but they get a total of over 10 million eyeballs watching, probably 20 million eyeballs. Oh, yeah. 10 million viewers are estimated to have seen the Puppy Bowl because it repeats throughout the day from 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on. And Dog Bowl is Saturday night at 8 p.m. I believe it runs again at 1 in the morning Eastern Standard Time, and I was told maybe even a third run on Monday morning, February 5th at 11. So you'll have to check your local listings. But what's so great, again, is the messaging. We have come a long way, baby. When I first started watching the show, it was just about adorable puppies, even though they were all from shelters, which was like really ahead of their time and so fabulous. What I love is that people really are finally understanding not only, how great it is to adopt, but the need, the importance to adopt. It's like, I think people would actually feel, from at least the people I know, feel bad if they didn't adopt because they know socially, to be socially conscious and also emotionally, it's the right thing to do. I'm sure there must be some reputable breeders out there. I'm not saying that. I will say never go into a pet store as long as you live. I definitely feel strongly about that. And I'm sure there are some very nice, reputable breeders. It's just that with all of our animals in these shelters, filling up cages across the country, and if people want a purebred, guess what? You can get anything you want in the shelter system. I tell people all the time, you want a golden retriever? There's golden retriever rescue. There's Labrador rescue, German Shepherd rescue, Dachshund rescue.
Mm-hmm.
So guess what? There's no excuse not to rescue. And that's what I tell people all the time. If you want a marvelous mutt or a perfect purebred in your eyes, you can find them. And it may take a little time till the one speaks to your heart, but you will do it, and it's the best gift. You think you're giving them an amazing gift. Yes, you are, but in the end, I know, it's the best gift we can give ourselves.
Absolutely. And now, Jill, we've seen the Puppy Bowl. Does the Dog Bowl look like a football game, like the Puppy Bowl, or is there going to be a referee with uniforms, competition? What was it like to see it live? Was it just crazy fun? What was it like shooting?
Well, it's just the most fun. I'm being that I'm in both. It's the best week of the year when we're filming these shows. And Dan Schachner, the referee from Puppy Bowl, is also the referee in Dog Bowl. It's really cute. Yeah, we actually have a real game. We have a little different type of game because unlike Puppy Bowl, with the Dog Bowl, occasionally we'll take a siesta break. Sometimes they're fined for it. But you know what? It's really adorable. We have the cutest dogs and, very energetic and very chilled, and they get along in the field. The difference, I'd say, the main difference between the two shows is that Dog Bowl is very story-driven. We have some incredible backstories of people that have made it their life's mission to save older pets.
Can you share a story with us? Can you tell something that really, really inspired you? One of them, maybe?
Yeah, well, every story. We have Eric Decker, who's an NFL player, and his wife, Jessie. And they have a Decker's dogs. They have made it their mission to help save older dogs. An incredible backstory on them. And a gentleman, he's an accountant, and he's known as Wolfgang to his hundreds of thousands of fans. And he's out in Colorado, and I believe he has over 10 super seniors. And he'll either wheel them around in buggies, and he has a whole Instagram following that will just slay you, where he literally, posts something every day about their well-being and their situation, and he just takes the most beautiful care of them till their last breath, and only, literally takes in the super seniors. Every story will just warm your heart. They even did an at-home piece with me at the top where they show me, it's, short and cute, but it features all 6 of my rescues at my ranch. And then we have the playing field, we have a halftime at a wonderful shelter called Little Shelter in Huntington, Long Island. And what's so great about that place, I love David Seeley and Little Shelter because they specialize in older dogs and they never have a problem getting them adopted. They're one of the few shelters where people literally know to go there for an older pet, and as soon as they get them in, they seem to come right into a home immediately.
Wonderful.
And he says, I don't know what it is about us, but we never have trouble adopting. And one of our wonderful dogs, Gemma, who was featured, who's a teenager and has some hearing loss and is diabetic. She was just adopted yesterday, and she's also featured in Dog Bowl. I mean, here, 13 years old and she has diabetes, and literally someone came in and couldn't wait to give her a home. So they're beautiful stories. I mean, it's really, you're going to just flip out, and so is Super Smiley. He's going to go nuts watching it.
Oh, he's going to be glued to the TV set. I know what we're going to be doing. And again, it's Saturday night before the Super Bowl on Animal Planet, and check local listings to see if it's re-airing. Is that correct?
Yes, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then, of course, the Puppy Bowl the next day.
Perfect. And Jill, that here on A Super Smiley Adventure, we know that animals are healers and teachers. So what have your dogs been sharing with you? What have they been teaching you lately?
Well, what my dogs have taught me is not to sweat the small stuff. Literally, when I had my beautiful Jack, my German Shepherd, who I had to amputate his leg because of bone cancer, and I watched his recovery, and he was just so happy to be out of pain. He literally never let the loss of a limb stand in the way of living the most beautiful life after that, and lived for, by the way, 2.5 years after. I mean, he was 13 and a half when he went up to Rainbow's Bridge and, Angel's Gate.
Right.
And literally, for a shepherd, that would be a lovely life without cancer. And so I watched him and I thought, wow, he's not worried and thinking, oh, I don't have a leg, I don't look right. I'm just happy I'm out of pain, and I'm so happy to be with my family. So I'm telling you, that's the biggest lesson I've learned from my dogs, not to sweat the small stuff, and also the joy that little things in life can bring us, meaning just hanging out on the bed with your dog when he puts his nose in your throat and goes, and takes that deep breath, and you're just bonded together, or puts a paw on your lap. It's just everything they do. They lower our blood pressure when we're petting them. They make us happier. We live longer just because of the joy of our pets. Don't you agree?
Oh, not only do I agree, it is a scientific fact. Longevity studies have been done with the blood pressure and the longer lives and the lowered heart rate, calming down. Absolutely, Jill. So well said. And I also want to second what you said. I had a beautiful little Labrador named Spirit, and she also had bone cancer, and she lived over 2 years after the amputation as well, when they predicted about 6 months, but it was 2 years. And I was so worried. When she was going to come back from we were ready to take her home, and she was going to come out with her 3 legs, and I didn't know if she was going to be all, scared or whatever. And she was dragging the vet tech through the parking lot, and Angel's hopping and hopping and hopping and smiling. And she wanted to jump up in the car, and she was just so happy to be pain-free, to be back with her people. And she went and laid down outside with Starfire and Minnie Haha, my beautiful little horses, and just embraced life. That's what she taught me, was just to embrace
that's the message, to embrace life,
with joy.
Yeah, when life throws you a curveball, these dogs, these animals, life throws them a curveball, they catch it in their mouth and they toss it back. That's the symbolism, really, right? And the other thing about the physical joy, what about the emotional joy? I mean, I'm a single woman. I never feel alone when I have my dogs with me. I'm never lonely. I'm never sad. They're the best company in the world for young people, middle-aged people, or seniors, right? Amazing.
A billion percent. And there's so many people that know this, and I feel very blessed to be one of the people that knows that secret that you just shared, that animals, they uplift our lives. And I'm just so grateful to know that. I feel like going, thank you. It's a secret. And Jill, it's always so beautiful. It's so beautiful to reconnect with you in person or here on a Super Smiley Adventure. Are you going to be at Global Pet Expo this year? Am I going to see you any place this year?
Maybe. I mean, I have all these products. The problem is, I used to come with Ruby, and she's my super senior. In fact, Ruby, who I call my sugar doggy because she sells all my products for me, she takes center stage in Dog Bowl. Ruby is my senior wiener sidekick, and she's backstage with me, and she's checking out all the competition, and she helps with my interviews, and she's incredible. But, I would bring her to Global every year, and I would drive. I'm probably going to, I don't want to put her on a plane. It's not good for her, but it's hard, that trip. The last couple times I didn't have a stroller, and I carry her. But I think it's hard. I don't know if I'm going to do it. And I really don't like to come without her. So we'll see. Are you going to be there?
Well, I'm not sure either, but I would like to be. But I hope sometime this year, Jill, we get to meet up at some beautiful dog event someplace. So we get to just give each other a hug in person. And maybe I can kiss Miss Little Ruby right on the face. That's what I look forward to doing.
I would love that. And you were there. Remember 1 year at Global, I took home Stanley, my super.
I remember that.
Remember my poodle, my standard poodle pet? Unbelievable, right?
I know it is. It is. Well, Jill, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for all of your messaging that you share on QVC, on Harry Connick Jr., and especially as we're talking about the Dog Bowl on Animal Planet. Thank you so much,
I
Jill.
know. Thank you so much. It's truly a labor of love, a dream come true. I hope your listeners tune in because we want it to come back every year. But most important, opt to adopt the older pet. That's our message
here. There you go.
So if we can show, and if we can show that we've made a difference with that, then we've done our job, and this show is a huge hit. That's my main job here.
I love that. And before we go, I also want to remind all of our listeners to watch our latest PSA for Kindness, Go Dogs, and help us share kindness around the world. And that's at kindnessfilms.com. Super Smiley's flash mobbing with the students at the University of Georgia. And they are, of course, the Georgia Bulldogs. So that's pretty appropriate. And also,
I love it.
Yeah, I love it. It's so cute. It's only 2 minutes long, too. So everybody go and watch that. I guarantee you will Smile. And also another announcement, if you're in the North Carolina Triad area, this is brand new. Super Smiley and I teach a dog training clinic every Sunday at 4:30. Beautiful. Yes, in the beautiful downtown LeBauer Park. Everyone is welcome. It's sponsored by the Green Lincoln dealership here, so it is free to everyone in the area, and it's backed by the downtown park system here, so it is awesome. So every Sunday, everybody, come on down.
So great. Wow, I wish I was there. If I end up driving to Florida again, I'm coming on down. I'm going to go see you.
Oh, that would be, Jill, that would be such an honor. It'd be so cool if you showed up for class. It'd be awesome. And
well, you're an amazing trainer. I mean, my goodness, that would be so much fun to watch you train and work with those incredible animals.
It is so much fun, Jill. And since we're talking about that, we have dogs that are very well trained, like therapy dogs. And I like to say they come and show off and show us how it's done. It's really cute. But then we also have very reactive dogs, and we work with everyone where they are. So the reactive dogs are just placed further away, and they do the exact same exercises, but they're further away. And by the end of class, so far, 100% of those dogs have calmed down. It's like magic. When you just put them where they need to be, they react in a positive way. And then sometimes we've had a few doggies that were just so frightened they couldn't participate, and the owners, their people said, what do I do? My dog's so scared. And what we did with them is they would just go literally sit in a chair about 30 feet away, and the dogs would watch class. And by the end of class, those little doggies, their tails were wagging, their little backs were all wiggly, and they're smiling, and they're like, this is kind of fun. Maybe I'll participate next week, because they were desensitizing. So it's pretty awesome. It's awesome.
Oh, how fabulous. That sounds incredible. I love it.
Oh, thank you, Jill. And we got one more thank you to our super producer, Mark Winter, for bringing a Super Smiley adventure out into the world, and for bringing...
And who doesn't love Mark?
We love Mark. We love Mark. And Mark also produces all the shows here at Pet Life Radio and the entire network. So, Mark, we love Mark Winter. Thank you, Mark. And once again, thank you, Jill Rappaport, for all you do for dogs and all your work that helps elevate the entire world, Jill. Thank you so much.
Oh, well, thank you for giving me the time to spread the message, share the love, and again, please open your hearts and homes to the older pets. And I really appreciate the time, Megan. That is so great that you really gave us so much time to talk about it so people understand how incredible it is.
Absolutely. Well, we always have time for you, Jill, and your messaging is just so very, very important. So you are very welcome, and thank you right back at you. Thank you, Jill. And from all of us here at Pet Life Radio on a Super Smiley adventure, we hope you love all your pet adventures. And until next time, woof and super smile.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.